Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Storm of Swords, chapters 18 and 19, Samwell and Tyrion. In these chapters, Sam kills an other motherfuckers, and Tyrion is gonna be the Lord of Winterfell?
Boo!
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Hope you're okay. Harmit, how are you?
I've had a whirlwind of a week, but I'm doing okay now.
Yeah, I heard all about it. It was a great story.
There was a lot of, you guys, I was a main character this week, and I really enjoyed it. And not like a Game of Thrones main character, like a book where good things happen main character.
Now everybody's gonna be like, tell us. You're such a tease. You'll have to, explain this whole story in the Discord or something.
Then it makes it real.
You don't want it to be real. Okay, wait. We're getting off track already. We can't do this. No. These chapters. Who died? First tell me that.
I hate you. I don't know. When I was reading these, I was like, I don't know. Okay. Let's think. Okay. In Samwell's chapter, we had all the people that kept getting dragged off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Plus one very major death.
Oh yeah, the dude that they were with, I forget
Small
his
Paul?
name. Yes, Small Paul.
No, but other major death. The White Walker.
Okay, yeah, but that's not a person. So I was like, oh, okay.
It counts. It counts. How many times do you get to say somebody dies? Yes!
That's true. Okay, but wait, but it was an other.
Still.
Okay, yeah, but you said White Walker.
The question is who died. White Walker and other are the same, but white, W-I-G-H-T,
yes.
are zombies. Okay. W-H-I-T-E, W-A-L-K-E-R are others. I know. Why?
Yes.
At one point, Sam says, I'll be a big white. And I was like, what? No, this is too much. I can't.
Too many mind games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that, and then in Tyrion's chapter.
Pretty much everybody in the Night's Watch, yeah. And then in Tyrion's chapter, yeah.
There's so many in Tyrion's chapter too. This broke me. I don't even remember any of their names, but there was a lot of deaths that we heard about.
Like who?
I don't know, but there was just a lot of
Can you tell me the
names.
scenario and I can come up with names?
Well, the entire chapter was just one big long conversation. It was during the updates. They were like, oh, the dude, not Randall, the other dude that died, but Randall Tarwell?
Tarly, some tall heart died.
Yeah, some tall heart
One
died.
of Rob's people.
And then other people in that
And then
battle,
a bunch of their people.
Yeah. And then we'll probably come across it, but I swear there was some others that died in this chapter. Some other people that died in these chapters.
All right. Well, and what did you think of these chapters?
These were okay. I think that I would have enjoyed them a lot more if I wasn't in panic mode, because there were so many names and so many details, and I was so confused the entire time. Oh. But I did enjoy them, because what I did was I read them through without taking any notes because it was overwhelming me to try and take notes, and the read through was really fun. But then the second read through where I had to take notes, I was panicking, but it was fun.
Okay, tell me the first read through.
It was really fun.
Give me your feelings.
It was really fun.
Did you cheer when Sam killed that other?
That was really cool when Sam did that. Because the entire time Sam was Sam equals Davos. Literally, their chapter, because that Davos chapter, it was pretty much the same thing, except Davos's didn't result in this gigantic victory of something that literally no one has done, as far as I know.
Right.
But I was just Sam's. I was just because I'm a Jon fangirl, I guess, whatever. Mm-hmm. So when I heard that there was a Sam chapter,
I'm glad you're accepting it now.
When I heard that there was a Sam chapter, I was like, okay, but where's Jon? And I loved that Jon gave Sam the thingy, and also that, like, Sam thought about John. Like, I don't know, it was
So you're like, Sam may have used his, he may have done it physically, but really, in spirit, it was John who did this, and that, therefore, it's the greatest event in all of Westeros history.
That's not what I said. You are putting words in my mouth. That, I'm just saying, that was like a little additional victory.
Leading the witness, Your Honor.
Yeah, exactly. That was a little additional victory, but most of it was like, because what I was really satisfied with was that most of the chapter was like Sam being like, woe is me, I'm so incapable, I'm this fat little child, then that's what I've been told and that's what I've internalized. But then the end was like, I just did this literally monumental thing, and it was just a nice little full circle. I was like, why is George R. R. Martin dwelling so much on this? But then by the end I was like, okay, maybe there was like some sense to it, that it was almost like, it was like to like stab the reader in the back of like, Sam's like, I can't do this, I have no motivation, like, why would I get up? Why
Imagine,
would I do all of this?
If this chapter of misery ended in Sam dying. Like, how wasted of a chapter would that be?
Right? Because then the entire chapter is just like, just rude.
Yeah. Why?
Right?
Why would you do this?
Yeah. So it was nice that it was like this like big spin around where the reader's like, oh no, he's given up. But it's like, no, he literally just did this gigantic thing. It was cool.
And what about Tyrion's?
Oh yeah, didn't even talk about that. Tyrion's chapter was very frustrating, but I liked how many...
How so? Like,
Tywin is a very frustrating human being. So that was frustrating, like, emotionally. But it was good though. It was like there was so much power play, and it was nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I would like to remind you of something. Once upon a time where I led you and you you played the bait or whatever. I don't even remember our conversation, but we were talking about the people we like in King's Landing, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if Tyrion and Sansa teamed up? And you're like, oh my gosh, that would be the best.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Okay, now I vaguely...
or something along those lines.
I'm vaguely recalling this. Oh yeah, because I remember when Sansa first got there, I was like, I think once I even said like, oh, like, Tyrion might try to help Sansa, like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I hate this.
So yeah,
this is not what I asked for.
Might be forced to team up.
This is not what I want. This is not what I need. This is not what I asked for.
All right, we already talked a little, but let's summarize officially. Yes. Ready?
Oh my god.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. They have a fire ring to protect them from the others. The Whites, they're traveling within that ring, and Sam's recalling that traumatic event of the fist. I'm not going to get into it. And then at the end, they accidentally, because Small Paul is carrying him, so they get weighed down, whatever, and then they end up outside of that safety ring, and they just have this little torch, and then Sam ends up killing the other with his fucking dragon blade, which was really cool.
You missed a person.
Oh, and
Tyrion.
But you didn't tell me to go. Like, you didn't tell me to switch.
Oh, sorry, switch.
That's why I was waiting. Yeah. Okay. So
I forgot my job. I'm sorry. I had one job, just like Sam, and I didn't do it.
It's okay. So Tyrion, the entire thing is just a meeting. It's a council meeting, and a lot of things happen. Cersei has to get remarried. Tyrion has to get married to Sansa. Sansa has to get, Littlefinger has to get married to Lysa. All of these different alliances and all these different mergers are happening. And then just Tywin sucks, essentially, is the point of this chapter. So the order of the marriages is, Sansa, Joffrey, Cersei, from what I understand. I feel like my 30 seconds are up, but you haven't said anything, so...
Yeah, you're right. Because I kind of gave you leeway because we started talking.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's fine. We'll call it a minute. It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want in this podcast universe. Okay, let's just get into Sam. Sam.
Okay.
Sam is miserable, and reading this made me miserable. But I knew what was coming, so it was like, okay, well. Just in a minute, it's going to turn around. But the minute turned out to be 50 minutes because this was a long-ass chapter.
It was 17 pages of Sam being like, woe is me. This was terrible. Rightfully so, but it was still 17 pages of him doing that. And then the 18th page was like, oh my god, I just killed an other. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all terrible, like snow and cold, and he I just highlighted some terrible, like every fourth or fifth step he has to reach down and tug up his sword belt because it otherwise keeps tangling about his feet. And I'm like, that is such an annoyance. Just take it off. You don't even have your sword anymore. It's just the scabbard.
Hey, but it came in handy that he didn't take it off.
Did it?
Doesn't he have his little blades in there too?
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I thought he didn't have.
Because I remember
he didn't have them in there.
Because I remember him
but
saying
that he had them.
Okay, because what I remembered him saying like, "Oh yeah, I don't have the sword anymore, but the daggers are still there. The one that John gave me and the other one."
Okay, it doesn't specify that the daggers are in the scabbard, so I guess that's why I was like, they're just like, elsewhere on his body somewhere. But okay, maybe, all right. Either way, it's terrible. Imagine having to pull up your pants every 4 steps, and you've been walking for he's lost count of days. It's been like 4 or 5 days.
Yep.
And he hasn't slept the whole time, and it's cold and snowy, and
he's tired and traumatized.
He's traumatized.
He saw a bear. He saw people that he's known and lived with now for months, probably a year, and they just got demolished, even though they were shooting all these arrows, and they're getting demolished, and he's like, I have to do my job, and then he's like, oh my god, it's so bad, it's terrible.
Yeah, so apparently only he says around 50, maybe more, escaped the fist, and that's when he starts recalling what happened at the fist, and they got swarmed by the zombies, and there's this moment where he hang on, I'm actually jumping ahead. He hasn't gotten into the details yet, but it was just like a bloodbath. And he remembers he's crying, but his tears are just frozen on his cheeks, which are adding to his misery.
The only thing he could do was cry, and when he cried, the tears froze on his cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the old bear, once again, Mormont is holding together the Night's Watch with duct tape and hope, and he's organized them in the best way he can. He's got a ring of fire around the whole party to keep away the whites and the walkers and whatever. And he's got the wounded on horses, and he's divided up the supply so that if they lose one horse, not every a quarter of their supply is not lost, and things like that.
Yep.
So he's doing what he can, but it's not a lot, because there's really not a lot to do. All they could do is just keep trudging and hope to make it back to the wall.
Oh my god.
And he's like, oh, I wish I had a torch. Sam's thinking to himself, and somebody's like, you had a torch, dude. You dropped it. And he's like, I don't remember having a torch or dropping it, but I guess it's true. And I've just learned something about repressed memories this past week, and let me tell you,
it is a thing.
I didn't see. I thought, I was like, okay, yeah, people I knew this in a hypothetical sense.
Yeah, but you didn't really get it.
No. I did not get it. Now I get it. Yeah. I get it. And he's praying to the mother, and he's like, I can't remember the old gods, because you revert to your initial teachings,
Yeah.
He's
like not white. He's like, mother, can you just pass on my message? Maybe leave a voicemail, please. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he's like, oh, well, the mother might have mercy, but the others, they don't. And then he's like, oh, no, I can't think about them. Just walk, just walk, just walk.
Yeah, he witnessed someone just being lifted up and having their head ripped off by a white.
Mm-hmm.
That will do numbers to the strongest people.
Yeah, and at this point, he's just at least I wasn't the first to die. Yeah. They can't say I was. I did my duty. I was a man of the Night's Watch.
All of his trauma comes out.
Yeah. This is when
everything is just unloaded, and it was so sad.
Yeah. So his job, Mormont had assignments. He was Mormont specifically told him don't go messing around with fighting. Do your job, tend to the ravens, and send off a message. And don't come running to me about what to send. Just use your judgment and send them. That is your job. And at the beginning, when the third horn, like 3 horns blew, he sent the message and he wrote something like, I don't even know what he wrote, but just like, attack at the fist or something like that, right?
It was very simple. He didn't say specifically, but that's pretty much what he said, yeah.
And also, he remembers, like, waking up from the third horn and seeing Chet there, which we know Chet was there to kill Sam.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the Chet didn't even stay to help me, but he had other things to do. And probably the Lord Commander's given him some orders as well. And I'm like, nope, he's got other plans. Do you think he survived?
I wonder. I probably, just because he feels like trash, so he probably did. But also he was
all the trash survives.
Yeah, but also he was a prologue character, so probably not. I have no idea. I'm undecided on that.
Yeah. So that's like a cool little like throwback for us readers, you know, having been in the other perspective. So he sends those first initial ravens, then he like goes and like gets ready and tries to join up with some of the people, but they're trying to fight. They're shooting arrows at the whites, but they're just getting swarmed. Like, the arrows do not stop them.
Also, there's hundreds of whites. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, hundreds. Yeah.
Why?
Not just like the 1 or 2 that were at the wall. There's hundreds.
This is...
So it's probably like anybody who dies in the north is now a white.
Yeah.
Like, or a potential for a white, you know?
Yeah. Like, that is terrifying.
Yep.
Because... Yeah. So I'm assuming... Because we just had one other, but like hundreds of whites.
But we only had one, like, other here. But there
No,
others.
I'm saying... Yeah. But what I'm saying is... I feel like, so their organization structure is kind of like each other has like their own pack that like they've created by killing people, and then it's like this is like that one. Yeah. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, is it kind of like a, you know, chop the head off the snake and the rest will fall kind of deal, or like if they kill a walker, do the whites that follow him are they also defeated then?
That's an interesting concept.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder.
I don't know though, because I don't think it's like I think they're just sticking together because it's like, oh, you killed him, like keep him. I don't think it's like oh, like there's like a power there of like
right.
Like I don't think that the others have that hierarchy, at least as far as we know. At least the others that we've only encountered one.
Right.
But like I think it's more like
a few in the prologue of the first book.
Oh yes, yeah. But like I don't think that there's that hierarchy of like this is like this other's ice is in this like white
my
veins.
Ice runs in your veins kind of thing,
which you clearly have because you're totally a human. Humans,
yeah,
you know, like I think it's more just like
right. And we didn't see like when Sam kills that one other
if that had any.
There's like none other whites around, so we don't know like if that has any impact on them.
I feel like that's
if it even
too
like
happy.
Scares them enough to make them run away or something.
I
don't know.
Too happy to hope for.
Right. Okay, so that would be quite simple. Just like kill the big bad. So what is happening? Let me catch up with my notes here. Sam could not see and did not want to see. These are just some things I've highlighted because I was like, oh, oof.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm a coward. A coward's not worth weeping over. My dad said this. My mom thinks this. Mormont thinks this. There's a lot of Davos going on in this chapter.
Davos doesn't have this kind of not this kind of self-deprecating talk. He's just like, I have no reason to live because everything I love is gone. And then he's like, actually, there's still plenty of stuff I love.
No, but he's very much like, I'm just a dirty little smuggler.
I guess. But he takes pride in that. Sam doesn't take pride. Like, yeah, he's fat and he's little and he's a kid. Like, those are all kind of like facts, you know?
But he's like...
But he's not like... Yeah, he thinks of those as like negative traits, whereas Davos is like, I remember where I'm from. That's who I am. Like, he, you know?
Yeah, but it's still like it inhibits both of them, I would say, because Davos is very much like, this is all I can ever do. This is all I'm ever gonna be. And even more so than just like, I'm remembering my roots, like more like, I don't have the capability to be more. Because he's like, Stannis gave me this power. Yeah. I'm not shit, you know?
Okay, I guess. Yeah, there's a parallel there. It didn't come to my mind directly, like, but you're right. There is some of that.
And then Mormont's like, do fire arrows.
Yes, they finally figure out to do fire arrows and they get organized and things. But so back to the present, I guess, he trips on something and falls down and he's just like, oh, it's so nice here. Maybe I'll get buried under the snow and die. Oh my God. But thankfully, Gren comes up and is like, Sam, what are you doing? Get the fuck up and get going. Like, yep. You can't lay here. There's no resting. There's only dying.
Yeah.
And, like, these people are delaying their escape.
Yeah.
By dragging Sam along.
Yeah.
Which is so good of them. I don't know what I would do in a scenario like this. I wouldn't
do that. I'd be like, I'm sorry, Sam, I love you, but, like, I'm not gonna die for you.
I both identified with Sam and was extremely frustrated with Sam in this. I was like, yes, this is miserable. I would probably also just want to, like, lie down and die.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, dude, you are literally keeping everyone else from living. Like,
yeah.
But Gren is determined and will not let Sam go.
Yeah, but, and like, so he didn't ask for people to go save him. Like, he was just like, I'm gonna
but
die
they're
peacefully.
Friends.
Yeah, but he doesn't think he's worthy of friends. So in his mind, why would they do that?
Yeah. I don't know. I might have left Sam too. I don't know. I don't want to feel like I
would have left Sam. I would have felt guilty about it for years to come, but in the moment, I definitely would have.
Yeah, because that's a lot. Like, that's a lot. A lot.
Also because I have no coordination, I have no survival skills, I'm also clumsy. Like, there's honestly no. I have no upper body strength.
You know what? In a scenario like this, I'm probably Sam. So, and I don't like, if we're ever together in a scenario like this, you can leave. I promise I will not be offended.
That's so funny. No, because the thing is, even if I don't leave, like, you know, Small Paul can physically carry Sam. Like, I don't have any of those abilities, so it quite literally is I die with you or you die. Like, there's nothing that I can do for you, like, logically.
Well, yeah, Gren can't. He's just kicking him and hoping that'll make him get up. But Sam just curls up and, like, burrows further into the snow. Until Small Paul comes along and just... Oh, and then he's like, I just need to rest. He's thinking to himself, this is one of the highlighted things. I just need to rest. That's all. To rest and sleep some and maybe die a little.
Maybe die a little.
And Small Paul comes along. He's got a torch, which he hands to Gren. And he's like, you take this. I'll take Sam. And he picks Sam up. And Sam is not a small, like, he's a child, but he's not small. Unlike Paul. No! Oh, wow. That's even the Paul himself is not really small. Whatever. Stop talking. Rein it in. My brain was going on a train that I could see leaving the station. I was like, no, we're gonna park it right here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's like, I've carried calves before. Sam isn't as heavy as that. So he literally picks him up and takes him along. Mm-hmm. And Sam goes back to his, like,
just let me die.
Yeah, that too.
Sing a song.
And yeah, so Gren's like, just sing a song, sing The Bear and the Maiden Fair. And Sam's like, oh my God, there's a bear, there's a dead freaking bear. And he's traumatized by that. And he thinks back to more of the story. He's like, no, not even that. Small Paul because if you remember, Small Paul was actually part of Chet's like scheme to kill the Lord Commander because he wanted the bird.
And he
So
just tells them this,
he's like,
kind of. Like, he's not keeping his mouth shut at all.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Chet said I could have one of the ravens, but I never got it. And Sam's like, oh, sorry about that.
Oh my god.
And this like kind of pushes him back into memory, and he remembers the chaos again. And
like, he was planning out all of his messages for the second bird when he was waiting, like, for the second messenger, after Mormont sent him back. But then he forgot to send it.
Yeah, so in the chaos, he starts planning his messages, and some of them are like, we're winning. The others are like, no, we are not. Like,
and he does this in the middle of letters, too. Not just, like, different letters. Like, in one letter, he'll be like, you know, we've got them surrounded by fire, and then something bad happens, but the result is uncertain, but we're able to get there. You know, like, he's, like, changing it mid-sentence, too, which was funny, because he's, like, doing it as a direct response to whatever he hears.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all chaos.
And there's a bear involved.
Yeah, the dead bear. He sends the ravens, and it isn't until afterwards that he realizes that he never tied any of the messages
to the ravens,
which is just, but I feel okay. So now, yes, that was his one job, and I was like, you had one job, but like, okay, think about it. So they get the first set of ravens that are like attack on the fist. Then they get a bunch of ravens returning with no letters. I think that still sends a pretty clear message.
Yeah. It
may not like have all the details of like, you know, the undead and the White Walkers and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's still like significant.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's still like prepare for shit.
Exactly. So there's that. So at the fist, he finds a horse at some point. They make their way down the slope, and this is when they run into the bear, pale and rotting, its fur and skin all sloughed off, and half its right arm burned to bone, yet it still came on. Only its eyes lived, bright blue.
That's so fucked up. So now we can do this with animals?
Yeah, and there's a horse later on, too, that's real dead.
God.
Right?
I can't.
Yeah, he loses, like, somebody steals his horse at one point, and yeah, there's just, like, it's all terrible. Things happen, but they've now been walking to eastwards for 5 days, or something like that. And he comes back to himself with Paul, and Paul's like, oh, it's okay, I can carry you. You promised I could have a bird, even though Sam didn't. Sam was just like, oh, they're not mine to give. They're not here anymore, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And finally, like after a while, Small Paul has he literally just sinks to his knees. Like he carries Sam until the very last moment. And he says, I can't carry you no more. I would, but I can't.
Ugh. That's so
Give this guy a hug for me. Yeah. So they're stopped there, and an other comes out of the woods.
What the fuck?
Hoarfrost covered it like a sheen of frozen sweat, and a nest of stiff black entrails dragged from its open belly. On its back was a rider pale as ice. So that's the horse. The other slid gracefully down from the saddle to stand upon the snow. Sword slim it was, and milky white. Its armor rippled and shifted as it moved, and its feet did not break the crust of the new fallen snow. And it's pretty swift on its feet, and Gren pushes the torch at his face, but the other slices it with his ice sword.
Yeah.
And when he does that, when the ice blue blade brushed the flames, a screech stabbed Sam's ear, sharp as a needle. So there's some kind of reaction happening with the ice cold sword and the heat of the fire. But he cuts off the torch. It falls and extinguishes. And now they're in the dark with no fire with another. And small Paul like goes at it at one point. But yeah, he goes at it, but the other sticks his sword through small Paul.
Yeah.
And impaled, his blood is seen smoking around the sword.
Oh my god. Yeah. But then
Right?
Paul kind of falls because of that injury, which makes the other's sword fall.
Exactly. So the other loses its grip on the sword. And Sam is like, okay, do it now. Stop crying and fight. And he's like insulting himself within that. And he starts giggling because like he's so like overcome, and he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna make such a huge white.
Oh my
He says that.
Yeah.
And that's when he hears John's voice, which is like, do it now, Sam. You can do it. You can do it. Just do it. What is John, a Nike ambassador?
Yes, as he should. He can be a Nike ambassador. Mans can do whatever.
Nike's not that great a company, but okay.
Okay, but like but getting a brand deal with Nike is like kind of a big deal.
Okay, all right.
John can pull. John can do everything. That's the point.
All right, got it. Imaginary John in Sam's imagination.
Oh my god.
So, okay, and then before he can even like think further, he just kind of stumbles forward and he thinks it's his like, he pulls out a dagger. I think he thought that it was his like meat dagger, but it's actually the dragon glass dagger, because imagine if it hadn't been, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
And he just kind of pushes forward with his eyes closed, lower, and he hears a crack, like the sound ice makes when it breaks beneath a man's foot, and then a screech so shrill and sharp that he went staggering backwards with his hands over his muffled ears and fell hard on his ass.
Dude.
When he opened his eyes, the other's armor was running down its legs in rivulets as pale blue blood hissed and steamed around the black dragon glass dagger in its throat. That is such a long
what the
sentence.
Fuck? That?
It reached down with
Badass.
2 bone-white hands to pull out this knife, but where its fingers touched the obsidian, they smoked. Sam rolled onto his side, eyes wide, as the other shrank and puddled, dissolving away. In 20 heartbeats, its flesh was gone, swirling away in a fine white mist. Beneath were bones like milk glass, pale and shiny, so this is an interesting look at their anatomy, and they were melting too. Finally, only the dragonglass dagger remained, wreathed in steam as if it were alive and sweating. And Gren goes to pick it up, and it is cold. Cold, like too cold.
Dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay, also, before that...
Did you remember when John discovered these daggers? Yeah. Remind me, did you guess that they might play this role?
I don't remember. I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
Yeah, because I remember being like, but it's such an obvious thing that might, like, you know, you're out in the wild and these wild things and you find a secret weapon, you know?
Oh my god.
Somebody listening probably has a better memory of that, so if Harmouth did, in fact, predict it, let us know. I'm sure she would be grateful to hear it.
I strongly doubt it. I think I was just like, oh yeah, they're just, I don't know. Because I feel like you probably did ask me, like, oh, what are they going to use this for?
Of course
But I don't remember, like, saying anything useful to that question. But this gives us a lot of insight into, like, I don't know, this makes me think, like, you know how the whites were, like, oh, no, not the whites. You know how the wildlings, there's too many W's. You know how the wildlings were, like, digging shit up and they were, like, finding stuff or...
looking for something?
Yeah. Were they looking for these? Like, are these, like, hidden, like... Is there, like, reservoirs that they're finding of these? Or was this a one-time, like, some ranger figured it out and then was trying to send a message to, like, future rangers that, because, like, the ranger wasn't able to get back in. But if the ranger had the thing, why weren't they able to use it? Maybe they were surrounded, overpowered. Like, I don't know. I have so many questions about this now.
Yeah. Pretty cool, though, isn't it?
Yeah, this is insane. A less important question. Why does Sam think that Jon is dead?
Oh, because they went off into the mountains and nobody returned.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's as simple as that. Yeah. So now we have a weapon that kills others. That's something we have not had before. And, oh my god.
This is cool.
Oh my god.
Okay, but, like, where do we get dragon glass?
Good question.
Is this the only dragon glass we've encountered so far?
Yeah, the one dagger and a few spearheads.
That's true. Like, have we, like,
do you think it works on whites as well, the dragon glass?
I mean, it must. They're weaker.
Right, but there's nothing to melt. Like, it feels like this melted the other.
Right. I don't know. I would hope that it does.
I don't know. I honestly cannot remember. So I'm just, like, asking you and also myself.
Yeah.
Which way does it work?
So the reason the fire doesn't work on the others is because the others have a weapon that they can just, like, right? But, like, can the other... It's not strong. Like, it would have to be, like, this intense fire. Like from a dragon's breath.
So
I feel like if, like, Dany's dragon blew on the other, like, that's a strong enough fire, you know?
Yeah.
But, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That would be cool. But, like, Dany's on the literal other side of the world.
Okay,
so
but we also have, like,
we
also have 50 books to go. And also, dragons can fly.
Don't say 50. Please don't say 50.
Dragons can fly when they grow up, in case you didn't know. So.
Oh, so she's just gonna fly over. Okay.
Yeah, she could do that.
All right, but they were, like, cat size the last time we saw them.
Stop trying to dismantle my argument, and let's move on.
I'm just making arguments. But okay, yes, Dany will fly on her dragons to Westeros and torch these motherfuckers. Got it. So Sam tries to, like, give the dagger to Gren, is like, here, you keep it because you're not a coward like me. And Gren is like,
you just killed a fucking other.
Yeah. And also, look, that way is east. Let's keep going, and we will hopefully catch up with Mormont and those people. And Sam's like, okay, I guess I'll just keep on going then. And
oh my god.
I'm glad Sam has continued to go, because he
killed a motherfucking other.
Yeah, he has so much potential. He has so many things he needs to do.
Like, go kill his fucking father with this dragon glass.
Right? Wouldn't that be so cool? And this Randall Tarley is causing all sorts of trouble for Rob as well, so I want him out of the picture. But also revenge for Sam. Hashtag
revenge. Starks and their allies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
We support.
I don't know how to hashtag. I don't know. I feel like hashtagging is really not strictly, but, like, majorly millennial thing. Technically, I'm Gen Z, but, like, sometimes I feel like I'm a boomer. No, not really. I never feel like a boomer, but I do feel old sometimes. And then other times, I'm like, ooh,
slay.
That's old. No, I am never like slay. You, however, every time I send you a text, you reply with slay. Literally every time.
It's because I don't know what to say. I honestly text slay more than I say it.
Yeah, you should just be like, I don't know what to say instead of slay.
Yeah, but then you're going to be offended because you're going to be like, I just texted you this important thing and you're telling me you don't know what to say.
Well, now that I know that slay is code for that, won't I be offended anyway?
No, that's not what slay is code for. Slay is my way of being like, oh my god! But I don't want to be like, oh my god, so I'll be like, slay! You know, like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I sound like when I text that.
I know, I'm just joking.
Okay.
I just really, I'm pulling your leg. Okay. Predictions. Are they gonna survive this?
Yes. Duh, they just killed the MF
Where
other.
Next time we catch up with them, where will they be?
They will be
at the wall.
They will be adjacent to the wall. And
how wrong were you when you were like, oh, they'll be at the wall?
They will be adjacent to a wall, to the
Just to any wall.
to the wall that will put them in a good defensive position against the...
What's adjacent to the wall?
Like, they'll be close by, but not, like, close by enough that they can just, like, go to the wall.
So how are they protected then?
They'll go... Okay, they're on the path that the wildlings are going to be following, and they're going to chill there in the middle of the path to try and mess up the wildlings as much as they can before they get to...
Yeah, that was like a suicide mission when they had 300 people. Now they have 30 people.
Okay,
maybe.
Fine. They're gonna be walking towards the wall. You want me to give you a boring prediction? I will.
Okay, well, there's, again, something you're missing, but I guess I'll just...
Okay, wait, no, let me think.
on.
Let me think. They'll search for dragon glass so that they can take it back to the wall. They'll... What else can they...
They've got their dragon glass detectors. I just saw them, like, in my head. I had this vivid imagery of, like, them struggling to walk, but also just having those, like, metal detector type things.
Yeah. Okay,
You know?
yeah, so they're gonna try and find dragon glass. They're gonna... That's all I have for you.
Will all the major people that are remaining... Okay, wait. First off, Small Paul dies. Is he a white now?
Oh.
Is that a yes or a no?
It must be possible for others to kill people without turning them into a white, right?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess he's a white now.
Okay. So the major people, I don't even remember. Like, so Sam,
Commander,
Gren, Lord Mormont.
Yeah.
Are they going to make it? Are all of those people going to make it? Or are any of them going to die on the way?
They'll make it.
Alrighty. I see we're being hopeful. We shall continue that into Tyrion's chapter. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta read this paragraph.
Okay.
Lord Tywin's chain of hands made a golden glitter against the deep wine velvet of his tunic. The lords Tyrell, Redwine, and Rowan gathered around him as he entered. He greeted each in turn, spoke a quiet word to Varys, kissed the High Septon's ring and Cersei's cheek, clasped the hand of Grand Maester Pycelle, and seated himself in the king's place at the head of the long table, between his daughter and his brother. This gave me such, like, politician walking through a crowd
God.
Get to their speaking engagement vibes, you know, like he's kissing
God.
babies on the way. He's like shaking hands.
True,
right?
true. Yeah.
That's all I could think when I was reading this paragraph.
That's so funny.
So anyway, to the chapter.
This is pretty much that, though.
Yeah. Everybody sits down. There's like a little Game of Thrones, if you will. Like where they're like Game of Chairs.
Oh my God.
Where they're like, Tyrion takes Pycelle's old spot, so Pycelle sits next to Cersei, and then there's now there's all these new people because the Tyrells are a part of it now, and Tyrion's like, the game has changed while I lay rotting in my bed, and now no one will tell me the rules.
Well,
but it was kind of like,
out.
It was weird, right? Like, we're so used to seeing all the familiar faces in the council, and now it's like more than half of them are just all these new people.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah. And then, like...
They were all, like, being pleasant to Tyrion, but, like, not really.
Yeah. Well, the Grand Maester, Pycelle, is not happy. He's got, like, 2 tufts of hair coming where his beard used to be.
This man is dying.
And Tyrion's like, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all.
Oh my God. Yeah. They took him off of his deathbed to serve on this position.
Yeah. So they're talking about, like, Kevin is like, oh yeah, Lancel told me how brave you were, and Tyrion's like, yeah, I hope he's doing okay. And Kevin's like, yes, sometimes he's good, sometimes not so good. And your sister visits him very often and prays by his sick bed. And
because she's such a good human.
Yeah, is she praying that he lives or dies? Because
yeah,
she has motives for his death. And he looks over to Cersei and he's like impressed because she's like all like charm and flirty and like just working the room. and making pious noises at the High Septon, which pious noises at the High Sept. Like, that is such a fantastic sentence, though, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, are we gonna talk about the wedding?" And Tywin's like, "No, we got a war, so let's talk about that first. Priorities."
Varys comes in, gives his updates,
which is that Randall Tarley caught Robert. Oh my God, Robert, the Glover guy outside Duskendale. This is like where they went off, and Rob was like, "What the fuck are they doing over there?" Right?
Yeah.
And there were heavy losses on both sides, but the Lannisters won, and now the Stark party is on their way back to Harrenhal, but the Sir Gregor and his people are in their way, and they're probably all gonna die. So, yay for that. Yeah.
Yay. Was Glover the one that frickin' what's his face, the Leech's man had sent?
Yeah, they had like this. They met up in Harrenhal, and they like came up with a plan and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that failed.
Yeah, very much so.
What were they trying to do?
I don't remember.
Okay, just like do more plundering vibing.
Honestly, I cannot remember.
Okay, whatever. There's too many plans that go on, and by the time we get the result of the plan, I've forgotten that the plan even existed.
Yeah, because like Glover and those people, like they were the prisoners at Harrenhal that Arya freed, and then all of that. So they were hanging out with Bolton, and Bolton was like, "Okay, well, go do this." Our king commands it or something. I don't know. And they were like, "Okay, cool. We're gonna be over there. So have fun over here, and we'll see you for lunch later." I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so that happened, and then.
Yeah, and Tyrion's like, "Yeah, well, that was a terrible terrible loss for the Starks, but Robb wasn't a part of it, and he is yet undefeated." So, and then everybody's got an opinion about it. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna head north, because, you know, what's a king without a kingdom?" And Tyrion's just sitting back and, like, thinking, "Okay, thanks, Mr. Tyrell."
Your victory is based off of one indecisive win.
Yeah, exactly. Tyrell's reputation rested on one indecisive victory over Robert Baratheon at Ashford in a battle largely won by Lord Tarley's van before the main host even arrived. So, yeah. And he's like, and then later on, he has the audacity to be like,
what are you? Okay, do you want to leave the room then? Because you ain't a fighter either. Yeah, but before that, Tywin's like, part of their plan is like they're gonna go attack River Run after Robb supposedly goes north with like, because they're trying to like reestablish their little army that got defeated that was like trash anyway, and then they're gonna have the two Lannister people join up and then go attack River Run, which is so fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the current plans at play. And then somebody brings up, what's his name? The Greyjoy, Balon Greyjoy. Mm-hmm. And how he's written to the Lannister and been like, "Hey, let's be friends. God. And you can give me everything north of the neck." Mm-hmm. And all the, like, so the red wine guy and Tyrell guy, they're like, "Oh, let him have it. What do we even want from the north?" Because they're Southerners, so they don't like see the value in the north and whatnot.
Right.
Even though it's literally the size
half
of like
your kingdom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, oh, what am I gonna do with half of my kingdom? I don't need it. Like, are you dumb?
And Tywin throughout this whole thing is just like sitting quiet, nope expression kind of thing.
Yeah. Everything's been like premeditated, and it's just like everyone's. Yeah, but he's like, okay, we also got to deal with Lysa because what's going on with her? And once again, Tyrell and Red Run are like, "Oh, she's not doing anything. She's not going to participate in the war. We don't have
just
to let
her be." Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tyrion's like, I'll deal with her, please.
Yeah.
I really want to get my revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then
This is
when Mace is like, I'm a fighter, I can do it. I don't know why he sounds like a squirrel, but I mean, he is a squirrel.
So Tywin says that I have other minds and tasks in mind for Tyrion, but I know that Lord Peter might hold the key to the Eyrie, to which Littlefinger disgustingly replies, yes, I do. I have it here between my legs. Ha, 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 ha.
He's like, I'm gonna go to the Vale, I'm gonna win Lysa over, and it'll be a little Lady of the Eyrie and Lord of Harrenhal wedding. And Tyrion's like, aha, it makes sense now.
Yep. This is why he wanted that title, because whether or not he actually holds the castle, he now has the standing for something like this.
I was sort of right. I was like, he can make better deals.
Yeah.
Because now he has a new title. And I was like, he could marry Sansa. I got the wrong River Run
descendant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure if he could have Sansa, he would prefer that to Lysa.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Tywin's not gonna trust him that much. He's not like, oh yeah, you can have Winterfell. You can have our northern kingdom.
Yeah, and then Kevin is like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. And Tyrion's like, never have I ever known to have my uncle to have a thought that Lord Tywin had not had first.
Oh my god.
And this is when he's reflecting. He's like, this has all been pre-planned. We're just kind of like
going through the motions to be like, it was a council meeting. But yeah, this is a nice Littlefinger gets to get his revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Gets to finally get some emotional satisfaction, which he still won't get because he's a stupid fucking man who's annoying and nobody likes him. He's never gonna be satisfied, but he thinks this will be his.
Can't get no satisfaction. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Tyrion's objection to this is like, okay, if Peter Baelish goes over there, who's gonna deal with all of our magic money over here? Magic, as in, does not exist. And Littlefinger's like, oh, surely a Lannister can handle it better than I can, which is when we find out. Yeah.
Tyrion is our new master of coin, bro.
And he is unsure about this. Later, when it's just him and his dad, they're talking about how he's like, I don't trust it. This seems like a trap. Like, he probably fucked some things up, and now he's just going to leave me to deal with them, and then I'll have it all blamed on me. Which is a fair...
usual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Tyrion just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Littlefinger is going to go the very next day on this, like, boat he's already got picked out called the Merling King. And he's going to go marry Lysa and restore the Vale to the kingdom and everything. And in return, they're going to restore Robert Arryn as Warden of the East. Remember when that was like a thing? Yeah. It doesn't really become a thing. I'm just going to be real with you because, like,
that's so
it's
funny.
one of those ideas that George R.R. Martin was, like, really harping on in the first book, but then he was like, I'm going to drop that. Yeah, because there's all this talk about, like, is Jaime going to be the Warden of the East? And then, like, the Lannisters have so much power. At this point, they have all the power anyway, so, like...
Yeah, who cares? Who has Warden of the East?
Yeah,
Oh my god. Oh my god, I literally remember saying that. I remember being like, oh, but if they become Warden of the East and...
Yeah.
I didn't know back then that they just run everything.
Yeah. Mace Tyrell is like, oh, you were leaving tomorrow? You're going to miss the king's wedding. And Littlefinger's like, well, the storms are going to be upon us soon, so I don't want to drown out on these seas, and drowning would definitely diminish my charms as a bridegroom, which I didn't realize you had any to begin with, but sure.
Oh my god, true. Yeah, and then Red Ryan's like, okay, but like Greyjoy, I think we should do it because then I can get his longships and then I can go defeat Stannis. Because I also have boats. And I'm like, bro.
To which Tywin is like, oh, he's busy fighting in the north anyway. And besides, what's he gonna give us that he's not giving us already? If we
Yeah.
align, he's gonna fight the North, which he is doing for free. So why should we pay him for it?
Tywin
So right
is
now,
he's such a he's a vicious man.
fucking terrible person, but he is smart. We cannot deny that.
He is so smart, and I hate it here.
Yeah.
Like, this, like, he's just, like, you just don't get any better than this man's
And he's got, like, all these things going on, which we don't even, like, okay.
Yeah, we don't even know half of what he has going on.
Exactly. So
and we learned so much in this chapter, and we still don't even know the half of it.
Yeah, so he says something like, oh, let's not do anything about the Greyjoys for now. Granted enough time, a better option may present itself. And Tyrion's like, I remember him writing some interesting letters. I wonder what he was scheming. And I wonder who this better option is and what kind of price they're demanding.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion kind of like jumps to like, oh, he already has a better option in mind, which I guess he knows Tywin well enough to like know that he's got things cooking.
Yeah. I don't know. I just assumed that like he had multiple things going on and like the potential better options had nothing to do with the letters.
I don't know. He just thinks about the letters at the same time. So I think the letters just signify that he's got things going.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know, because I feel like maybe the letters, I think I'd said this before too, but I still kind of think it like the letters are related to like getting Jaime out and all of that.
Mm-hmm. So who would he be writing letters to?
I have no idea, but...
Do you think he knows that Jaime has escaped? Because the Starks aren't really keeping that quiet anymore. Like, Arya was hearing about it on the road randomly, you know?
Right, that's true. I don't think he does yet. I think he's about to, but I just feel like he doesn't know yet.
Okay.
Because I just feel like it would come up somehow.
So he doesn't know yet. Then who is he writing this letter to?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. And then what's this better option?
I have no idea.
Like, give me something. Like,
I don't
something
know.
out of the wild. Like, just...
Okay, he is writing a letter to... Renly's dead. Robb, or Stannis. He's writing a letter to Robb, and he's like, I know that you don't have Jaime. So, if you want... Or he's like, hey, I'm getting Tyrion married to Sansa. Signed, Tywin Lannister. Like, I don't know.
How is that gonna be helpful?
I have no idea.
How's that gonna help him win the war?
I don't know.
What is he doing to win this war?
I don't know.
Okay, just keep it in mind. Keep it stewing, okay?
Okay.
So, then they move on to the wedding talks, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll fit 1,000 people in the throne room and much more than that outside, and we'll have tents and everything. And Pycelle informs them that 300 Dornishmen are riding to King's Landing for the wedding. And they're like, oh, 300 Dornishmen? That's no big deal. We'll just squeeze them in. Which, like for a wedding to be so big that 300 people don't even make a difference is so ridiculous.
Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, we'll just put some extra benches, NBD.
Yeah, and they're discussing, like, the whole, like, Dornish situation, and Tyrell's got his opinions. He's like, oh, they didn't ask my permission to use my lands for travel.
Oh my god. Okay, calm down.
And Tywin's like, well, he is coming at my son's invitation, not just for the wedding, but he's also going to be on the council, and we're going to give him justice for what was done to his sister and her children. And everybody around the table is thinking, didn't you do that to his sister and their children? But nobody says it. And yeah, so they're still like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's cool, but like, still not really. And he's like, well, once Marjorie's wed to Joffrey and Marcella's wed to Tristan Martell, we'll all be a big, happy family.
Oh my god. So you have to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
So that's kind of that talk.
Yeah.
And
then they're,
then
like, splitting up the goods.
yeah, all the spoils of war from, like, you know, defeating Stannis. All the people that were on Stannis' side have now been, you know, relieved of their holdings, and all the holdings are now up for grabs. And the Tyrells are getting real good things.
Oh yeah.
One of the things he gets is he gets the lands and castles of the Florents, who first joined with Renly and now are with Stannis.
Oh my god.
And then, like, everybody else gets stuff too. Like, literally everybody gets things. And the Red Wines, who are from the Arbor, where they get a bunch of their wine, is like, hey, guys, what if you didn't charge us tax for a really, really long time?
Ah!
And they're like, yep,
Oh
can do.
and they're like, oh, let's get some of that wine then, if you're not going to tax us.
Which, let me remind you of this, like, really random theory that we talked about previously, which was that every time somebody drinks Arbor Gold wine, that somebody is lying in that conversation. Do you remember that theory? They don't actually end up drinking it here, but there's obviously a lot of lying happening.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. It reminded me of that.
And then they're kind of just like, okay. And then Cersei's kind of like, okay, dude, like, we need to win this war. Like, we need to stop just being like, oh, you get a treat. You get a treat.
Yeah, let's get over it. And so they, like, move on to, like, the menial things on the list, which is, like, one of them is that they found some of the crystals on the old High Septon's crown. And do you remember this High Septon? He got literally pulled apart into pieces at the
during
riot.
the little okay,
the scuffle, the little scuffle. Nothing to worry about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, people of King's Landing really did say eat the rich. So
oh my god. Yeah, so now they're like, we need a new crown for him.
Yeah,
okay,
we'll
make
get
it
it
at
made
once.
for you. Yeah, instead of being like, maybe we should rethink this practice since it made the people so unhappy. They're like, no, we'll just
let's get a new crown.
No
yeah. Yeah. So then, like, Varys is like, there's a kraken and there's a 3-headed dragon. Okay, whatever. Kraken.
Yeah, a kraken was seen near off the Fingers, and that there is fighting on the stepstones, and there's a new war brewing between Tyrosh and Lys. And that sailors back from the Jade Sea report that a 3-headed dragon has hatched in Karth and is the wonder of that city.
And they're all like, we don't care. Moving on.
I was like, krakens, dragons, I don't care how many heads they have. Move on.
They're like, okay, Tyrek.
Now I have a thing to say about this. I feel like Varys got the actual information that Dany has 3 dragons, but to make these people not take it seriously, he kind of like fudged it a little bit.
There's a dragon
with 3 heads instead of being like 3 dragons.
Okay.
I don't know. Just a little thing, you know?
Interesting. I think that makes sense, especially with his little Illyrio partnership going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because, like, Illyrio knows a lot now, and you would think that if they're still, you know, hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they move on to Tyrek Lannister, who is one of the, like, Tyrion's cousins who also vanished during the riot.
Yeah.
And he is literally nowhere to be found. Like, they haven't found him or his remains or anything.
Bro. This child.
Yeah. And I don't even know. And this was like one of the only decent Lannisters. So this is quite a loss to the whole thing.
Ugh. It, like, damages their integrity by, like, 90% because he was the only one who had any.
Yeah. So
whatever.
There's that.
And then, like, the gold cloaks who deserted are like, hey,
give
I'll
me
come
our
be a
jobs
gold
back.
cloak again.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we can either put them to death or
send them
Varys
to the
is
Night's
like,
Watch.
Send them to the Night's Watch. But then the option that has been chosen is Tywin is like, we are going to break their knees with hammers and keep them out in the streets for people to see as a lesson.
Yeah. And Tyrion, remembering his visit to the wall, is like, maybe we can break a few of their knees, but not every.
Because the wall needs some people. Like, this is important. And then they're like, okay, I don't care what happens to the people at the wall because that only affects the people in the north. They can't ask for our help when they won't bend their knee to us.
Exactly. So, the intro to this episode should really have been, in these chapters, the people of Westeros are fighting over things that do not matter when there's this huge threat looming overhead.
Yeah.
Like this, we get this back to back of like the real threat, you know, versus like these like threats, like a council meeting of the like, you know,
of the richest
quote
people
unquote
on
threats.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these rich people fighting over scraps of land. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too much. It's too much. Like, they need to just take a breather.
I thought you were gonna say they need to just chill out, and I'm like, if they don't do something about this, they might just
chill out. No, they need to take a breather.
Yeah. So after this,
and
class is dismissed.
Tywin is like, class is dismissed right before that. Tywin's like, oh, you know, and like, if he screws over the north enough, like, we might even become allies with Mance Rayder. I'm like, you think he wants to ally with you? How misinformed are you?
Well, very clearly they're misinformed.
Like, his whole thing is like, these people suck and they've wrecked everything for everyone else.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna try and partner with the people in charge of this terrible continent?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Ugh. But yeah.
So, class dismissed, and Tywin's like, okay, everybody leave except for my family. And so everybody leaves. Varys is the first to depart, which I was just like, I bet he's like running off so that he can go hide in a corner first and make sure he doesn't miss any of the conversation.
Oh my god.
Like he's got like a somewhere
yeah.
a nook or cranny where he can overhear the conversation, you know?
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. It's like, I gotta get there in time.
Yeah. So this is where Tyrion's like, Master of Coin, that's a trap. And Tywin's like, well,
he did all this stuff for us. What do you mean?
Yeah. In fact, he continues to demonstrate his loyalty. Only yesterday, he brought us word of a Tyrell plot to spirit Sansa Stark off to Highgarden for a visit, and there marry her to Lord Mace's eldest son, Willis. How the hell does Littlefinger know?
I think. Okay, I have two thoughts.
All right, lay them out.
First is, you know the frickin', what's his face, Dantos? Yeah. And I was like, this is the Littlefinger scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Dantos could have been a thing.
Littlefinger, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the more likely one is, as we know, Varys knows everything, and as we know, Varys gives Littlefinger scraps, and
But why didn't Varys come forward with this information? Because this would be very valuable to the Lannisters, you know? Maybe Varys could have scored himself a Harrenhal out of this.
But he's not into that. I think he
or something. He's into something.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know. I just feel like it was like he wants this plan. Like he wants Littlefinger to get the veil or whatever. So then he's like, because, you know, like, Tywin's like, oh yeah, he's been doing all of this. Of course we're going to listen to him, whatever. So I think it's just more like, even more to get the Lannisters to trust Littlefinger, and then he has Littlefinger under his control, kind of.
Okay. So Dantos and Littlefinger aren't allied, but Varys and Littlefinger are. In like a, you know, in that they both kind of want to screw the other one over way.
Yeah.
Okay, so Varys got this info and that then gave it to Peter to give to the Lannisters.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Because, like, how else would Peter know? Like, Marjorie's grandma isn't like, Peter, my bestie, you know? Like,
how do you know? Peter was the one that negotiated with the Tyrells.
I guess, but I don't know. I just don't see them being like, you know, who's our greatest confidant? Peter.
Yep.
The master of coin. Yeah.
So, yeah. The First
But
off,
yeah,
this solves...
Tyrion is just like he's like, I don't trust this man at all. Like, he's terrible, he lies, he does all this, and then Tywin's pretty much like, we do too. Besides, he's not of high birth, like, he doesn't know how to fight, no one's gonna listen to him. Like, you're fine. He's not gonna rally against us. Like, calm down.
Yeah. And Cersei, like, once she finds out about this news about Sansa, is like, but Sansa's my hostage. How can she leave without my leave?
Oh
and Tywin has to be like, well, if they asked you to let her visit, you would have to, because otherwise it would seem like we don't trust them. We can't have that, can we? Yeah, and he's like, we can't do this. We have to forestall them. And Cersei's like, how are we going to do that? And Tywin announces that she is to be married. And she is very much against this. No, not again. I will not. To which he's like, you are my daughter, and you will do as I command, even though she's like, I'm the queen.
Yeah.
Technically, she's queen regent, so she speaks for the king even more than the hand speaks for the king.
Right. But ain't nobody.
So he's like, okay, well, you can marry Balon Greyjoy or Theon Greyjoy or one of the Red Wines or Doran Martell's like kids or something. Or you can marry Oberyn Martell, which is, I think, Doran Martell's brother. But really, I think you should marry Villas Tyrell, the Tyrell's oldest kid, who they wanted to marry to Sansa.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to do that.
She's like, you've given me so many great prospects, I'm gonna need a couple days to decide because they're all so amazing.
Yeah. He's like, the Tyrell heir would be my choice, but if you prefer another, I'll hear your reasons. He's so
like, this
reasonable.
is not a debate. Like, this is not a debate. He's like, you know, this is what I think, but like, let me know if you have any input. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
I almost felt bad for Cersei.
Right? Yeah. I did feel bad for Cersei because she got roped into this terrible marriage with Robert the first time around.
Yeah.
And she finally thought she was, you know, free of the marriage and of Robert and like could have power in her own right, but now...
Yeah. And I'm just such a believer in like I know there's like the nature versus nurture thing, but I just feel like nurture to me is always like yeah, you know? Like, to me,
I think nature plays a part, but nurture is the
nurture
prominent.
Is like, to me, it's like, I would argue for that if I had to go into a debate. So I just feel like now I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, how could someone have a dad like Tywin and not be like how Cersei is? You know what I mean? To be like successful. And like...
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I almost empathize with, like, obviously, like, she's made terrible decisions and she's, like, evil in her own way, but it's just, like, I kind of see it from her side more, like, yeah, like, this is what, you know, your love from your father was.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how do you, ugh.
I agree, yeah, and it's, you know, she's the only woman present in this council, and, like,
she's technically the ruler, but nobody would
actually
acknowledge
listen
that.
to her.
She wouldn't be able to go out and be like, oh, well, I'm Queen Regent. They'd be like, okay, and did I ask?
Yeah, and even when she's like, I'll think about it, can I go? Like, Tyrion thinks to himself, like, you're the regent, he should be asking you. Yeah. Even she doesn't, like, what's the word? Like, exercise the power over her dad, because like,
yeah, but she like can't, she literally can't, that's why she doesn't.
Not technically. Yeah
well,
like,
legally
or not in like practice. Technically she can, but not in practice.
Like, legally she can, but it would never work. Like, yeah, so there's that. And then he's like, remember your duty, bye.
Yeah, and she leaves, and
And then Tyrion's kind of thinking, he's like, oh, well, she's mad, but she's gonna have to listen. He's like, but wait, Jaime,
he's gonna be mad.
Oh, yeah.
The unfortunate Villas Tyrell was like to contract a sudden fatal case of sword through the bowels, which would rather sour our alliance, because Jaime's gonna kill him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but what am I supposed to say? Like, hey, Dad, my sister wants to marry my brother. Thanks, bye.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and then finally, it's Tyrion's turn.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you're gonna make... Tywin's like, I've been thinking about, you and, like, what you're gonna get, what you need, like, you're a full-grown man, because you're so short, I forget that you're fully grown. And he's like, you're gonna marry me to Sansa, cut to the chase, like, why?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. And he just starts laughing because he's like, what? This is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then he's like, oh, actually, a wife might be exactly what I need, because it could get me my own like little place and I could get away from this toxic environment.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, there's Shay, and she's not going to like this. And I'm like, why is she even really a consideration, Tyrion? Like, no offense, but you need to, like, think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, the theory behind it is just pretty much like, we get Sansa married before the Tyrells can approach this after Joffrey's wedding. So if she's already married, what are they going to do?
Exactly. And also, she... oh no, hang on. Oh yeah, Tyrion's like, oh wow, she finally got rid of Joffrey and now you're planning to marry her to me? This is so cruel, even for you, father. And his dad's just like, what, do you plan to mistreat her? Which is like such a weird argument. Like, yeah, no, Tyrion doesn't plan to mistreat her, but like also, but Tywin has no consideration for her feelings and likes and whatnot.
Yeah. Ugh, he's like, we need the North. She's the heir. Logical conclusion. Lannisters get everything. Like, come on.
Exactly. And Tyrion's like, but she's a kid. And he's like, no, she's had her period. And like, you just have to consummate the marriage. And then you can like not have sex with her for a couple years. That's cool. But you gotta do the first bit. And Tyrion's just not really comfortable with all of this. And Tywin's like, well, just like Winterfell, come on. But if you think, okay, I don't know if you remember, but every time Tyrion has kind of thought about Winterfell, he's always been like, oh, that's not a place I belong. Like,
yeah,
that's a place of the Starks, right?
Yeah. And now it's like he's gonna be heir?
Or not heir, but like Lord Protector of the North or something. If that's like, there's a lot of ifs in place for that, first off.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. And Tywin gets into like a little bit of like, this is a great match. Probably the best you're going to ever do. I once proposed to marry you to Lysa because they didn't want to get her married to Jaime or something. No. I had once hoped to marry Jaime to Lysa, but Jaime got named Kingsguard. So instead, I offered you for Lysa, and Hoster Tully refused. And Tyrion's like, I think I dodged a bullet on that one, so I'm not even mad.
Oh my god. True.
And then like other like the Dornish thought of it as an insult, and like other houses turned him down. And I even tried to marry you off to the Florent girl that Robert had sex with at his brother's wedding, but her father preferred to give her to one of his own household knights over you, which is tough to hear, but also makes very little sense in my head. Because, like, yeah, Tyrion's a dwarf. So what?
But he's a Lannister. Yeah, and he's technically the heir.
Exactly.
Like
why aren't people lining up?
I don't know. Like,
I don't know. This is weird.
Because we had another... Yeah, like, that makes no sense. We talked about this with the Willis thing, too, where, like, Sansa was like, yeah, but he's the heir, and, like, that came up. So it's the same thing. It's like, what are these people doing in this world?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is like a George R. R. Martin error, or this just like highlights just how much people value appearance in this world, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but Lady Tanda was like, lawless.
Yeah, you can have
Tyrion was like,
lawless.
nope, absolutely not. And then, yeah, but Tywin's pretty much just like, people keep saying no to you. This is the only, like, highborn relationship you're gonna get. Like, trust me, like, this is a chance for you. This is a nice little fresh, clean slate. And Tywin's like, or Tyrion's like, okay, but then why don't you marry me to King Baelin's daughter? Like, why do I need to marry
Asha
Sansa?
Greyjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so funny to think of. But
yeah. But they would get along, though.
They would.
If you remember back to Asha and Tyrion, they would get along.
They would.
That would be fantastic.
That would be
I
really
would want to
funny.
see that.
That would be really funny. But yeah, like, Tywin's pretty much just like, nobody's gonna like him. Like, he's not a good ruler. He's very much like, you know, the Ironborn have their own rules and stuff. None of the Northern people are gonna like that. By then, you can come in, play the savior, bring, you know, bring the Northern air.
Yeah, Ned's grandson. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, it's Ned reincarnated or whatever. And they get into this talk of, like, whether or not Tyrion can actually, like, biologically have kids. And he's like, well, I think I can, but I can't prove it, so we'll see. And also, Tyrion's like, besides, I think you're missing the whole, like, I might have kids with Sansa, but Robb is gonna have a bunch of kids with the Frey as well. And Tywin knows the news, which is that Robb will not be marrying a Frey, and I haven't had a chance to tell this to people yet, or I have not seen fit to share with the council yet. Oh, wow, that was a lot of yets. But
okay, yo. Couple pages back.
Okay.
Is Tywin talking to what's her face? Jane's uncle?
Jane's uncle, the Spicer dude that
we don't like.
Wynn didn't like.
Yeah, cause the end of this chapter is very much like, haha, they're not actually on Robb's side.
Yeah, hold that thought. Let's like actually cover the end of the chapter and then we'll talk about it, okay? Yeah, so he's like, I haven't told people, but like Robb has married Jane Westerling, and Tyrion is just like, what? He broke his sworn word? I cannot.
This wasn't very stark of you.
Yeah. And Kevin is like, well, it was very honorable of him because he chose the girl's honor over his own. And they're just talking about the, you know, about the Westerlings and how they have, like, they're cool, but, like, not very rich. But then they married into the Spicers, who are, one of them was a Meiji.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. We haven't seen a Meiji since Miri Mazdur, so.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they have such doubtful blood.
Will they even be able to have kids?
Not will they even be able to have kids. There was, it was that I didn't marry my kids to their kids because I didn't like their heritage.
Oh, like Tywin was like, I didn't.
Kevin, I think, was talking about his kids being proposed.
Oh, right. He was like the Western. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. Pretty much, like, they got nothing to offer. Like, this is not a politically smart wedding at all.
Yeah.
They got
and
nothing.
Tyrion's like, wow, that was quite a move on the Westerlings' part.
Yeah.
And so Tywin says Jane Westerling is her mother's daughter, and Robb Stark is his father's son. So we know he's his father's son in that he's like, honor. How is Jane her mother's daughter? And this is followed, like, and then Tyrion's like, oh, Tywin doesn't seem as upset about this Westerling thing as I thought he would be. And he remembers back to some of Tywin's feats. So he had extinguished the proud reigns of Castamere. I'm so glad I get to say that phrase finally, because let me tell you, it's quite a thing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a song, and you know how songs are in this universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, it was such a thing that there was a song made about it, and now, like, anytime somebody's like thinking of betraying Tywin, he just plays this song and they just like get in line. That's what it says.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I really want to share, in the show they did a cover of this song, obviously.
Yeah.
And it is really good. I am a big fan. And I've been wanting to share it with you. I don't know if I want to wait until we like know the lyrics.
Can I please hear it? Please, pretty please.
Yeah, okay, you can hear it.
Yay, okay.
Give your reaction in the Discord.
Oh my god, okay.
All right. But anyway, so I know because you're music and things, so I was looking forward to sharing this with you.
Yeah.
There's a few other songs that come up, and I want to like share those with you too.
Okay. Sounds good.
As we know, the music in the show it's just fantastic. One of the best parts.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, Tyrion's like, oh, you would think they would have learned their lesson from the Castameres. And Tywin's just like, mayhaps they have. They are well aware of Castamere, I promise you. And it says, every once in a while, Lord Tywin Lannister would actually... So then it says, every once in a very long while, Lord Tywin Lannister would actually threaten to smile. He never did, but the threat alone was terrible to behold. The greatest fools are oft times more clever than the men who laugh at them, he said. Why is he smiling?
It's giving betrayal to Robb.
Okay, so the Spicer dude, he's sus.
Mm-hmm.
What is he gonna do, though? Like, he's one dude. Robb surrounded by an army.
I don't know, but maybe he's, like, given intel and, like, waiting for the right moment to, like, I don't know, like, turn on him.
Okay, so, like, it's just... I guess, yeah.
Like, okay, intel, and, like, waiting...
So how did he, like, somehow...
arrange this?
Yeah, arrange this? Or is this just, like, he's taken advantage of what's come?
Oh, I feel like... It feels more like an arrangement. Like, maybe even if Robb hadn't gotten injured and, like, all that hadn't happened, like, they still were, like...
So,
I don't know.
Sorry, it was an arrangement of some kind?
I think so.
All right. Okay. But then, like, Jane and everybody would have to be in on it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they could also just be like, oh, Jane, he's so pretty, isn't he? Like,
oh, so just, like, planting the seeds of, like, a crush on it.
Yeah, and then, like, he gets injured and she's like, oh my god, like, I'll help you come to my room, and then it, you know...
Yeah, that was weird. We talked about how, like,
yeah,
why did he get taken to her room of all the rooms?
Yeah, it could have even been, like, that happened, and then, like, they were like, oh my god, Jane, like, you're really good at, like, helping people get better? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Just something, like...
Yeah, with your 16 years of experience as a doctor?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's, like, because her grandma was a Meiji, right? So it's like, oh, she's got that healing power. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Lots to unpack in this chapter. Like, so many things, right?
There's so much going on.
Okay, let me just scroll real quick and we will. Oh my god, it's such a long chapter.
There's 19 pages.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go in order of like the things I have highlighted, kind of. So the Glover party that's like leaving Duskendale is about to be ambushed by the Mountain. How's that gonna turn out?
They gonna die.
All of them?
Most of them. Some of them might run away.
All right. Are they gonna do anything about Greyjoy, or are they gonna leave it like Tywin said for now?
I think they will leave it for now.
Okay. Will Littlefinger be successful in his pursuit of Lysa?
Oh yeah.
All right. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Terrible.
All right. Wouldn't it be great though if his ship did sink and he just kind of drowned and
that's so
was
funny.
Never heard from again?
I wish that's so badly for us.
Yeah. So your best theory right now for the letters / better options / all of that is this Spicer dude. He's sus.
Yeah.
Okay. Wedding with the Dornishmen and the Tyrells butting heads. How's that gonna go?
Oh, there's definitely gonna be some like minor. You know what I think? Wait. I'm gonna say that again. You know what I think? Just to make it spicy. What if? You know how like Robert and like that other girl from like a highborn house like slept together in like Stannis's wedding?
Yeah.
What if there's a Tyrell what are the other Martell, yes, thank you. I get confused.
So one of the Tyrells and one of the Martells are gonna hook up.
Yeah, and it'll be so chaotic because they already hate each other. It's giving Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, what if it's Olenna Tyrell, the grandma?
Oh my god. That's funny. I mean, live your life, Miss Grandma.
Yeah. Okay. How are they gonna give Doran Martell justice for his sister and her kids?
That's a good question. I don't know. Okay. So, I feel like I'm hazy on the details of this. So, it was like freaking. So, it was it Tywin or did Tywin get someone else to do it?
The Mountain did it, but the Mountain only does what Tywin tells him to do.
Oh, right. And Tywin was like, oh yeah, because last time we talked about this, Tyrion was like, are you going to give up the Mountain? Or like, you have to give up the Mountain or whatever. Right? I just remember.
The Mountain.
Like, the Mountain.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and I think Tywin was like, we're going to pin it on this other dude that's already dead or something. So maybe that's still the plan.
Yeah. I feel like it. I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I guess maybe the Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that mystery of Sansa's dress, do you think it's solved now?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What color is her dress gonna be?
Why?
I want to say something.
Are their wedding dresses not white?
It will be white, but not for the reason you think.
Scared.
Okay, moving on.
What? That doesn't make sense.
I know, it doesn't, which is why I'm like,
is it supposed to make sense to me?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's not a me problem?
No, it's not a problem at all. It's just that when I came across it, I was like, oh, okay, because that and then that, like, it was kind of like that.
Interesting. I guess I'll find out.
Yes, maybe you will. Okay, so we know there is something resembling a 3-headed dragon in Karth. Is there a kraken in the sea?
I think so, because we've heard about heightened magic and, like, stuff happening.
Tyrick Lannister, where he at?
I don't even know, bro. He just disappeared, right? Like, he's probably... Like, where could he have gone? Maybe he escaped to, like, a nearby city, but, like, why would he do that? Like, what did he have to lose? Who was trying to kill him? Other than the common people. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, as far as I remember, there weren't any, like, enmities, so I don't know.
Is there a trap in because Littlefinger's the one that suggested that Tyrion become Master of Coin. Is there a trap in that?
I don't think so, because, well, there could be, but I just don't think so, because then that still falls on Littlefinger, you know? It's like, you left this, but obviously, like, the kingdom is in shambles, and, like, we know how much they're in debt. I just feel like that's enough of a trap, that giving anyone the job without doing anything else is already a gigantic trap.
Okay.
Because he doesn't, like, Tyrion doesn't have those same connections that he does, so how's he gonna get the money and deal with it when he needs to, you know? Like, that's already such an impossible task that, like, why does he need to make it harder?
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Will Tyrion be good at it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's good at everything, essentially.
So, Sansa, Tyrion. That's happening?
Yeah.
Cersei Villas, is that happening?
Oh, that's tougher. Because I'm thinking it might, like, have to happen, you know? But at the same time, like, I just, because the thing is, the time...
What could prevent either of these things from happening?
The Sansa thing, if she ran away with... Oh, no, but she's running away with Dantos on the wedding night, so that still wouldn't work anyway. If she just, like, ran away, you know what I mean? Like, just, like, on her own, just, like, ran away.
Okay.
That, or, and then with Cersei and Willis, if there was, like... See, because there's no better prospect. Cersei and Willis could be... If, like, Willis died, or, like...
Right.
Or, like, you know, some sort of sabotage in that way, but then Tywin's still gonna marry her off to someone useful, you know? Like, there's 2 other sons. Well, one of them...
And we didn't talk about this, actually, but one of the motives for them marrying Cersei again is to quench the rumors of the incest. And
exactly.
They, like, talk about it, but nobody's ever like, yeah, that's what's happening, but they talk about it. And remember how we've talked about how, like, does Tywin know?
Yeah,
Doesn't he know? Like, kind of thing. What do you think after this? Do you think he knows, or is he...
I think he strongly suspects.
Okay. But he's never going to say it out loud, because...
Yeah,
that would make it real.
Maybe I relate to Tywin. Yeah, like, I think, no, he definitely would never say that out loud.
It would also make it real, as in there's definitely people listening.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, but the people listening already know. There's no one who's listening who doesn't already know.
Okay. All right. Will Tywin's other option pan out? Is this bad news for Robb?
It is bad news for Robb, but let's hope that something goes wrong.
Goes wrong for Tywin, right? For Robb.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Can Tyrion have kids? I don't know if that's really even a, like, up for question, but...
I think he, like, why not? Because he's short.
Do you think
like...
he has any kids?
Probably. Or, no, he hasn't, like, slept around that much, right? Just, like, a few people? Has he? Am I fully misremembering?
He's had, like, long-term relationships with only, like, 2 people, Shay and Tysha. But...
Has he always been exploring houses? Oh, I don't know why I fully forgot that. Okay, then yeah, probably. Like, yeah,
Do you think we'll meet any of them ever?
maybe. It's possible.
Will Rob have any kids?
Yeah.
Last time you were like, yeah, definitely they're getting on that right away.
I think so. They need an heir, like, if Rob dies, you know?
With the Tyrion and Sansa, will they have kids?
Oh, I hope not. But I think for Tywin's plan, they have to. That's disgusting.
All right. Well, that's that then. Do you have anything to add before we move on to next chapters?
I don't think so. All I have to say is this is taking turns that I don't like at all. Like, please stop.
Stop taking turns, stop turning.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. So, next time we're reading 2 chapters. Hopes and predictions, please.
Arya and Dany. Did I get any of them?
You were not right. So, we're reading chapters 20 and 21 next time. Chapter 20 is Catelyn.
Catelyn is at Riverrun. Oh yeah, Catelyn just found out about her son's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Catelyn's probably, exploring, getting to know her new daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
What was their plan? Oh, we're probably gonna learn about the Alliance and what their plan actually was.
With the phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Chapter 21 is Jaime. Hi, May.
Okay, last time we saw them, they had evaded the trap.
Mm-hmm.
They're on their way, they're getting very close. Jaime's like, I'm gonna escape her. And he's probably gonna make it happen.
So he's gonna get away from Brienne.
No. But, like, he's gonna get to... I realized I said that, and then I was like, that doesn't really make sense. But he's gonna get to King's Landing, you know?
Okay, all right. They're at King's Landing. Cool. I'll take that. Let's wrap it up. We're both sleepy. You haven't eaten in way too many hours, so... All right, folks. Send us an email, popculturesymposium@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at popculturesymposium, and join our Discord and hear our thoughts. And I am going to play The Reigns of Castamere for Harmouth after this, and she'll post her reaction in there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.